We're set.
We ready? Probably running a little late. You guys ready?
Right when you are.
All right. All right, let's call the meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge.
Yep.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everybody to the work session agenda of Monday, March 18th, 9:30 a.m. I will ask the Secretary Treasurer to call the roll.
Trustee President Mr. Horowitz.
I am here.
Ed Warner, I'm present.
You are here.
Joe McLaughlin,
Yeah.
Matt Parsons,
Present.
and Richard T. Marin, I believe, is not on
Not
his
here
way.
yet, but perhaps he'll get here
So
soon. Maybe there's a little
we
traffic.
have a
building.
quorum, so we're good to go.
All right. First discussion that we have to have, very important, is the priority dredge list. And we've got our usual locations listed: North Sea Harbor, the Fresh Pond in North Sea, Sabonic, Cold Spring Inlet, Noyak Creek. Very important that we, make it known to the county that we need these things, done, right? We get a
Yep.
lot of dredging done by Suffolk County Dredge Crew. They're great. And at this point, is there anything else that you think?
Well, I mean, I could extend on that a little bit.
be
North Sea
great.
Harbor has been another ask to do a spring dredging. We've done it in the past. I believe they did a project there this fall, but it was not adequate enough to keep it open for the summer boating season. So I've been contacted by a couple individuals asking if we could look at it as a possible spring dredging. We've done it in the past, but we need bird monitoring and other stuff there, so it's a complicated process, but being that we've done it in the past, I'd like to have the Bay Constables doing a site visit and a soundings for this spring to see the status after the winter's storms.
I've been getting complaints on that too. So it's something that definitely has
Yeah.
to be looked at, and it does affect a lot of commerce.
Well, it does affect the commerce as far as the marinas and also the environment, because the North Sea oyster growers in there, with Mark Matthews, there's a lot of shellfish that is in there that keeps the water good, and we have to keep the water good for the shellfish, and it's also emergency responders need to access that inlet, day and night, so a safe navigable inlet is very important.
Right, Fresh Pond North Sea is always
Yes.
constant, very dynamic
Yes.
situation that requires, attention. And, I know the difficulty that the Suffolk County Dredge Crew has in kind of hopscotching around the different areas, logistics, the various different requests from other townships, and not to mention meeting the goals that, U.S. Fish and Wildlife and all of these folks that are watching for spawning fish and birds to try
Yes.
and figure out, which is the best location to get at what point in time. It's a, more difficult task than it absolutely seems, and you have a limited amount of time
Yep.
to do this. They call it the dredge window. So it's important that we articulate the needs of the town, and then they're going to try and do the best they can to accommodate. And they've always been very,
They've been
Very
very, we get more dredging done than any other town on the east end with the county, because we have a good environmental staff. James Duryea, our environmental man over there, and good staffing gets the information with the birds and everything else that we need. So we're much further ahead than many of the other towns. But I have one question, and I know this has been an ongoing project for about 60 years. Fort Pond, are we going to put that on a priority dredge list for the college, being that that's been pushed ahead again? And I did have a conversation with the lead person over there at one of the events I attended, and he was very concerned that he doesn't want to see it lose momentum and continue to be able to be put on a priority dredge list, even though sometimes I think it's just a placeholder.
it is a place. So I think, we could certainly add it on there, but I think because of the fact that, like you say, it's been going on for 60 years.
Yeah.
We've been going to these meetings regularly that have been attended by, the upper brass of the Suffolk County Dredge Crew. I think they're well aware of the fact that, we're in need, the university, everybody's in need of that getting dredged. I think it was just about working the logistics on it. So I don't know if we put it on there and they go, yeah, we know about this. You know, so if you think it's helpful, add it on there,
I
you
think
know.
it's because
Add it on.
we do have two areas that we have, worked with as far as, deposition sites, and I think that's the biggest, usually the biggest lift as far as these new projects, where we're gonna put the material, and I think we and the town have accommodated the, that whole process.
Right. My concern with Four Pond dredge project, and I've gone through, I know you've spent years in those meetings, and I've spent years in those meetings, is that with a dredge project with the magnitude and importance of this size, you're gonna get like one good shot to get this thing done. And I really think everybody should get around the table and take the best shot that they can and get as much of that material out of there. And not kind of do a project that's, less than what's really needed because they're concerned about some other issue. And then, having to re-examine the situation in a much shorter period of time, in a much more difficult environment, because of the fact that, there are a lot of areas that are not suitable for dewatering dredge spoils or placing dredge spoils. And right now, there seems to be, several areas. We've supplied two, right? And then there was a discussion of even pumping material further upland and doing a larger project, which, some people were having an issue with. But I really think that they need to do the best job that they can at getting this done, because it's difficult, and you get like one shot at it.
Yep.
So take the best shot.
Yeah. And I know Far Pond and Middle Pond are two areas that every 2 to 3 years need to be, looked at. And I was down there this morning before I came to the meeting, and both of them are going to be needed to be placed on for the fall priority dredge list. And working with the county and the DEC, and, have an alternate deposition site, which was a historic deposition site because of the water washing away some of the, land, it's going to make it more difficult. But the county was agreeable, and I believe the state was agreeable to use the end of Far Pond Road, and in front of the rock revetment, 72 Far Pond Road, they were going to look at placing that material there. And I think that's going to be a good, a project as far as seeing how erosion has happened over time and how we can fill back in some of the beach that was historically there and grant some of the people in the public beach access to the beaches east of 72 Far Road. So I think has a huge community benefit, and it's, we worked on this literally the whole time I've been on the board to try to accomplish that. As you know, you've spent a lot of time with those people down there.
Absolutely.
So I think it's another good project where we've managed to meet with with the county and work with the outside agencies to have a good project become a better project.
I mean, there's, other benefits to, working with these entities also. I mean, the town's trying to protect infrastructure on road ends that are getting eroded away that were much longer. And then, aside from this, we're going to be working that project with the Army Corps of Engineers that'll take place sometime in 2024,
Yep.
after the season, where they're going to be getting the Intracoastal Waterway up to standards, and that's going to be beneficial to the people of our township. That's a totally separate function than what we're talking about here. But I think the combination of all of the above, I think is going to really put, what the trustees' concerns are, and people of the town, everybody that wants to enjoy the waterways from navigation and, getting better flow, in a better position. And, it takes a lot of work behind the scenes, and I know there's going to be some folks out today, I believe, from the Army Corps. They're going to be examining a couple of locations, dredge spoil site. I know they're going to go over and take a look at the that gabion, that whole rock situation where the horseshoe crabs keep getting caught at the Tiana Bay side, to try and see if they can't cover that up, with some good fresh sand coming out of the bay, which would be helpful. And then they're also going to take a look off at the eastern side of the Shinnecock Canal to the south for some fresh sand going to get pumped out of the Intracoastal Waterway in Shinnecock. It's going to kind of shore up an area there that's trustee-owned property and bolster up that infrastructure. So they'll be out taking a look at that, among other things. Dredging, is very important to keeping things running around here. And I think that you know, there's a symbiotic relationship even to our bird program in dredging, because without a good bird program as administered by our staff, you can't get these things done. You got to account for lease turns and what red knot birds are eating and the pipe and plovers, obviously, and you have to have a good handle on this, or
Well,
you can't get any of this done.
many of the deposition sites around the mouths of the creeks and harbors that we are discussing are prime, plover and least turn nesting areas. So it's really important that we maintain these and bolster these areas up so that the birds can nest and have a good offspring, and then hopefully our endangered species, someday we can take them off the list. So that's the goal.
That's good. So I think we've made some adjustments to that list. Is there any further adjustments? Anybody else thinks we need to add on to here? You good?
Yeah.
Joseph? You good? All right, so we can finalize that, James, send that over to the crew.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to Rich first. Rich needs to do assessments of
Good.
all the water bodies that you guys put on, so I'll send that to him, and once I get all that, I'll forward it to the county.
And can you ask them if they have heard for the local rumor mill, if there are any other further, creeks and harbors that need to be looked at? I know in Sag Harbor Cove, there's a spur inside the bridge on the north side, which has become problematic. But as I explained to the local, ship and shore boatyard owner, that is outside of the trustees' jurisdiction, because our jurisdiction takes where the old railroad spur used to come into Sag Harbor. Everything that was east of that, going towards the North Haven Bridge, is state-owned underwater land, so that would be a conversation with the county and the state. But I said, once that conversation got started again, and use of a deposition area in Sag Harbor, that our board would be supportive of whatever could be done down there as far as that dredging happening,
So the harbor master, that's a good thought, because the harbor master has
I've been in
expressed-
correspondence.
Right?
Yes.
He's expressed some concerns. I mean, would it be helpful if we indicate something on here that we've gotten some concerns and perhaps they need to?
I mean, I've contacted the county, I've had multiple conversations with the county, I've had several conversations with, the marina owners and the harbor master. It's just, I believe it would be up to the village to really take the initiative to push that forward. I believe, whose area is that, Chip's area? So that would be a conversation maybe with the mayor and the harbor, Bob Borey. He's an individual that I've been having conversations to push it forward. I mean, it's something that we've advocated for the whole time I've been on the board, but in 17 years, the spur has gone from a little spur to a much larger impediment as far as navigation, and also the boats that are in Sag Harbor Cove, some of them are 60 and 70 feet, so they need as a vessel owner.
The boats have gotten bigger, the channels have gotten smaller.
Right, so you know what, why don't we indicate, just put an addendum on here to
Yep.
perhaps have them contact the harbor master, Bory,
Yep.
over in the village, and that we would,
Yeah, which our
be
Bay Constables.
supportive and, right?
Yeah, Bay Constables do have a lot of correspondence with them.
Right, so
Yep.
why don't you indicate that on there as well, and then they can contact our office for any support, assistance that's needed, if they can take a look at that in consideration as well. Okay?
All right.
Anything else on this matter?
That's,
All right, we're good?
We're good.
Okay, so let's move on for the permits that we're going to be, or the applications we're going to work on today. Ann Barron, Wyman, DeBoer, 14 Shinnecock Road in the Village of Quogue for land use. How are you?
good morning.
Hi, Kelly Rosado with Land Use Ecological Services. This one was on, I think, a prior work session where it was requested that it be clarified, the 10-foot buffer landward of the bulkhead reconstruction, which areas were going to be timber, which areas were going to be
Right.
stone. So revised plans were submitted February 21st to indicate specifically what areas were what.
Right, so let's just back up.
Yes.
We're going to reconstruct an existing bulkhead in place or land where the existing bulkhead with vinyl sheeting, 282 plus or minus linear feet. 52-foot bulkhead returns proposed to be reconstructed in place or landward along the northern property line, and a 5-foot return is proposed along the south property line. 339 plus or minus linear feet total of bulkhead is proposed. no increase in height of the bulkhead, and that, as you're indicating, the 10-foot wide buffer area. Okay. And now we've made further clarifications here.
Yes, so the plans that are last revised February 20th indicate the areas where will be timber, areas that will be stone, and areas that will be planted landward of the bulkhead. And sheets 4 and 5 are zoom in of the plan so you can better see.
Can you pull that up,
exactly
James,
where
for everybody?
What are you looking at?
Sheets 4 and 5 both kind of zoom into give a little more clarity on exactly what's proposed where landward of the bulkhead. The deck is existing. There is a portion that's going to be removed. You can see on sort of the top part of sheet 4, and then there's areas of stone landward of the deck, and then to the south of the deck.
What is the plantings that's within, like 10 foot? What are you proposing there, or is it, you're gonna leave it sand, or what are you gonna do to stabilize that with the grass that's there?
Looking at the plan right now, I don't see that they have a specific grass specified, whether it'll be lawn, or whether it'll be a native grass.
It can't be lawn.
Okay, so then,
It's gotta be something, that's
yeah,
This is
switchgrass,
saltwater
beach
plant
grass, something like
species,
that,
or
yeah.
Right,
something.
Yeah.
Right, that was the whole purpose of the objective, was to get native vegetation into that area.
Yep.
And then be, making the determination of, how much, stone or gravel is gonna be there, because you do have a lot of green lawn there, and it would be good to absorb some of the nutrients before it runs right into the creek, and into the canal, and, and onward. James, can you get that any bigger?
Yep. Where do you want, on the top part?
Let's just take a look at the whole buffer situation and see.
It's more to the bottom of the plants, the other, that's all deck, but. down
Yeah,
here.
it's
Right,
going
that's
to
all
the-
the existing deck, except, like I said, the one portion that'll be removed and planted. And we can certainly
So you
specify.
basically just have stone within there now, right? Is
Um,
that what that is, like gravel?
Correct.
And it doesn't do much bioremediation in my mind, but that's really,
No, I mean, if you look at this, right, you've got a lot of grass.
Yes,
And you got.
a lot of grass.
You got it sloping right in, so you're gonna, you wanna eliminate, some of the sheet runoff from getting in there, so,
Like a 60-40, 60% gravel and 40% like Cape American beach grass or something like that.
something that's native,
And
deep
something that would be good around the saltwater environment too, because this place floods on the northeaster pretty regularly, and, I mean,
You wanna take another look at this and make a determination of what species, and, speak to your client to say, look, let's, get a determination, we're gonna do, this type of planting, and what do
Yep.
you wanna do?
I mean, if you look at this one photo here, there's all natural shorelines on both sides of it, north of it and
Right.
east of it, and, and being that Western Shinnecock Bay has been an impaired water body for decades with the brown tide and other, issues up there, I think it would be, good for the owner of the property to be a good steward for the environment, working with the trustees, the college and everybody else, the governor and Cornell, and we're doing this reseeding and all the work that we've done up there to promote good water quality. This would be a small part as a landowner to
Exactly.
help, the environment.
Right, it helps them out too, obviously. You want to see
Yeah.
cleaner water than, and sometimes, when you run the boat up into the Qual Canal in the summer, the water looks pretty bad, right?
Pretty brown.
Pretty brown, you know what I mean? So-
Unfortunately.
All right, so why don't you,
So we'll revise the plan to specify the species and add some vegetation
Yeah,
to the
just-
area of gravel on the south side.
yeah, I mean, you've been at this for quite some time, your
Yeah.
firm. You understand what we're trying to do.
Yep.
We want to get a good balance and try and absorb some of those nutrients and get some, because there's a lot of grass going on there, so there's
Yeah.
plenty of, and we're not
A
asking
lot
for.
of slope too, and if they're not utilizing lawn care that's, advantageous to the environment, you're gonna have to stop some of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. We're not asking for a lot. We're just asking, to work with us,
Yeah,
that's all.
absolutely. Nope. Understood.
All right, so let's hold this one for now until she comes back come back.
We need a revised cover sheet as well,
Oh, okay.
just noting the vegetation.
Noting the vegetation, okay. Not a problem.
Can you handle the next one too?
They have them all, Scott.
2 Seascape? Right.
So to Seascape, this is a proposed dock on a flag lot. There is an existing dock that will be removed, a small 4x16 wood dock that'll be removed, and then a proposed 4x35-foot open grate fixed pier with a seasonal ramp and 6x20 float. The ramp, the new dock is proposed extending, straight out from the flag lot, where the existing dock is sort of perpendicular to the shoreline. This one will follow the property lines and will be within the extended property boundaries into the bag. And that's there.
Can I ask what the proposed water depth underneath the floating dock would be? 'Cause it's on the survey here, but I can't read it.
I know.
Now, James, if you can
No
blow these
worries.
things up, that would be good.
It looks like 1 point,
So the float will actually be chalked to maintain 2 feet of depth beneath the float. Sheet 4, the profile shows the chalks and then calls out the 24 inches, 2 feet below the float.
so 1.5, would that be 18 inches? That's pretty There's like no water there.
Yeah, it's not even a floating dock material, is it? What is it, blue book?
No, it wouldn't, it would actually be resting, it looks like it's gonna be resting on the bottom.
It won't, it'll be chalked. So the float will be on sheet, if you look at sheet 4, chalks will be on the pile, so the float will sit
That's 5.
2 feet above, 2 feet above grade at all times.
That's 4. That's 5.
Oh, 24 inches, okay. Needs to be 30 inches.
I mean, don't we usually just not have a floating dock?
Yeah,
on the
really, I
shore?
mean, normally we would ask just for a fixed pier in this situation. Because, I mean, on a winter low tide, it's gonna be completely dry there. And it's only 18 inches, I mean, I know,
You also have violations of the extended property line.
that's my next question, because it looks like,
6 foot on one, 4 foot on one side and 1 foot on the other side.
yeah, it looks like to me that the dock is, yeah.
So
I think you're gonna have trouble with that floating.
I think you're gonna have to maybe go back and take another look at this one as well.
Yeah, with regard to the extended property line, if you look at sheet 2 of 8, you see the neighbor, I guess to the south, has a dock on the other side of the property, so there's no issue there. The neighbor out to the north has a very wide shoreline here, so,
It's still gonna
Could
be
easily-
10 foot within either side of the property lines, regardless.
right. I mean, that's not possible with the
Well, then you gotta
25
get rid
foot
of the floater.
width, yeah.
Yes, so if you,
If you eliminate the floater,
Eliminate-
then you'll be well within the 10 foot on either side of the property line.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to go back and have a conversation with them to get get it to spec,
Yeah.
and see it meeting the minimum issuance standards.
Because I know on previous docks that we looked at, like this, I mean, it doesn't look like it's gonna impede navigation, but putting a dock on an angle in front of someone's house, it usually ends up laying out in front of the neighbor's house, and then their view shed usually gets interfered with. That's usually what I've seen happen with these projects.
All right.
And there is no water there. I mean, 18 inches of water is like,
Have a conversation with your client, and then let's put this on for a future work session. After you do that, if you can contact James and let us know when you want to go back on.
Yep.
All right?
Will do.
And let's address these issues. We'll put it back on when you're ready for that.
Okay.
Let's go to 41 Dune Road.
Yes. So this one we just got 2 days ago. And submitted an updated cover sheet and an authorization. The owner's looking to reconstruct the bulkhead in place here.
What'd you just get 2 days, what do you mean?
We just got this one 2 days ago, this project. It was being handled by someone else previously.
Okay, oh, I
Yeah,
see. Yeah.
so the project is to reconstruct our bulkhead in place. Obviously, from what we've gleaned in the application materials, there doesn't seem to be proper plans that were submitted, so we have reached out to an engineer to have them draw up proper site plans.
Right, so you want to put this, let's
Yeah.
put this on hold, since it got transferred over to you, let's put it on hold, get your ducks in a row, then come back. Let's not,
Yeah, no, the only question I guess I would have for you is, is there anything in looking at just the site that
Can I see
you
the
would want?
pictures?
Yeah, that you would want specific to, a typical bulkhead reconstruction.
Buffer.
plan.
Yeah,
10-foot
you're gonna
buffer.
need a buffer.
buffer,
Landscaped.
yeah, you're gonna,
Yeah.
and be specific about it.
Yeah.
You know what we're trying to accomplish, so design
I mean,
something.
you've got a lot going on with this inset.
You-
Like, I mean, that's obviously, is this the neighboring property? Is that hedgerow that's going down the middle, or is that part of theirs too?
So this is marked up
village.
survey. The property line, like the boat slip is, the property line bisects the boat slip.
Okay, so it's
basically,
half and half, so
Yeah.
it's shared?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that gets a little hard because, obviously this is where they're gonna access it, so you're gonna have to come up with some footpathways of where they wanna access the boats or whatever
Right.
they got going on there.
I mean,
Grades, heights, like what, you're gonna
Yeah.
go
Oh, yeah,
for the
no,
6
But-
inch.
We know what's needed.
okay, so the reality is this, I mean, just the same conversation on the other one. I think you need to just take a look at how the application can buffer the waterway. And
Yeah,
we're looking
yeah.
for something with that 10 feet, you kind of got a feel for what the board's concerned about.
Yeah.
And since, it got transferred over to you, get your proper plans, and then take a hard look at that buffer, get specific on the species, have a conversation with the
Bulkhead
applicants.
building.
And then again, when you're ready for that,
It's a mess.
get a hold of
Yeah,
the
Cork Canal,
office,
it's
and
a
we'll
lot
put
of
it back
current.
on the work session. That way you'll show that buffering, that there's a cooperation for the sake of water quality. It's not that
Sounds
tough.
good.
Is the project looking to do an in-kind in place of a replacement of a bulkhead?
Yes.
So basically, no height raising?
No height raising. Actually, I shouldn't have said yes. I believe they're looking to convert it to vinyl.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's
From
okay.
timber,
Yeah,
so,
that's
so,
okay.
yeah.
I'm just
but
looking at
in
the
place.
logistics of the canal you're on and how everybody's consistent all the way along there with the similar heights of bulkhead. You know, if you were looking to raise it, like some people want 18 inches, 24 inches, it's gonna cause problem on either side of the property. So
Right.
keeping it consistent and then, you know, taking the bulkhead out that is currently there and replacing it, it's not gonna, basically impede into the canal. It's a navigable waterway, so, yeah.
And just get proper buffering.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yep.
use the best materials, compliant
I
materials.
believe this is
Yeah.
yours.
Is that hers, or is that?
Yeah,
No, I think I gave, no, I think these ones were yours.
These were mine?
okay.
Yeah.
And those are
Yeah.
hers.
These are,
Yeah.
these are
Some,
yours?
some of them came across here, I know that.
Yeah, so these are
Yeah.
probably yours. You
Yeah.
could have those.
Those are nice colorful pictures.
Yeah, I know, these are,
Photoed.
those are suitable for framing. All right, so
All right.
hold, and hold, but reach out if you have any further questions.
Will do.
Get a hold of
Yep, yeah,
myself.
I'll be in touch with James on timing
And
for
if
all
you
of
wanna-
this and everything.
Meet down there and look at it or something, you let me know.
Yep,
So-
I have the next one.
Yep,
yeah.
Smiths Creek, 124 LLC, 124 Springle Road, Hampton Bays. The old Scuppernamich's Marina was taken over by a new owner, and they're looking to do some reconfiguration of the, floats and finger piles, and, it's some dredging, and, it's a pretty big project. So if you want to give us the narrative of it.
Yeah, not a problem. So this owner had gotten approval a couple of years ago to do this sort of the south half of this marina with reconfiguring some of the float docks and whatnot. The trustees granted approval for. Now we're back to do the northern half, so everything north of the travel lift essentially. They're basically looking to remove all of the existing float docks and replace them with, the sort of mishmash of float docks there with a 233 foot by 5 foot main float, and then several finger floats, 2 foot wide to 3 foot wide, 20 feet long to 40 feet long. As shown on the plans, the length and width of the floats gets longer and a little wider as you go towards the south. There is some dredging proposed on the northern portion. Let's see, I forget what the,
3,600 square feet.
thank you.
Portion
Oh,
of the marina.
2,300 square feet, actually, with 80 cubic yards of dredged spoil
Okay.
in the northern portion. And it's really just kind of right along the bulkhead.
It's 2,300
Um,
feet, because you have 3,600 square feet portion here on this. cover
Yes,
sheet.
no, I think it did get reduced a bit, the dredging footprint. So,
Okay.
yeah, 2,300 square feet. And I can always submit a new cover sheet.
Yeah,
to
because this is
reflect that.
completely different, yeah.
Yeah. Same dredge depth though to -4 at mean low, with 80 cubic yards or so of spoil to be trucked off site for disposal. We
To-
did
To a
have,
certified landfill, right? Because I
Yes.
know there was some issue, because the highway did a dredging just north of that, and it was questionable, the material. I know you guys have done some analysis of the grains and analysis of the content, correct?
we did, yeah,
which
so
passes
the,
up.
so we did do some analysis, we took several samples, and it was over 90% sand and less than 0.5% total organic carbon. So for DEC, we didn't have to do any further sampling with
Okay.
that.
Good.
So, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good project, and, it's a marina that's been purchased. It's one of the marinas on Smiths Creek that, serviced a lot of the public, so I think it's a good project, and I believe we have everything we need as far as, except for a revised cover sheet, correct?
We need a revised cover sheet, yeah.
Yeah, we need 2,300 and 80 cubic yards of material
so that could
removed.
advance then,
Yes.
as long as we get that.
We have stamp plans as long as you don't want the plans changed. Up to you guys.
No, the only thing that would be needed is a revised cover sheet, and the plans, I mean, I went over them, they're pretty consistent with what we've allowed there in the past.
Yeah, I would say advance it.
Okay?
All right, great. Thank you very much.
Hampton Watercraft on the canal, you got the information from my office as far as the owners and
Yes, I
so
did. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Didn't have a chance to go through it yet.
That's
so I
it- that's
should say
another
last
whole-
week, but yeah, yes,
it's a project in itself.
yep. All right.
Good.
Thank you guys very much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
And this next one, we received an email requesting it to be moved to the next work session from the applicant. He can't make it.
Well, that was my next comment, because I don't see the consultant here, so.
Place it on hold.
So we'll place it on hold. We're good with that?
GR Realty Holdings LLC, 187 Dune Road.
What's up there, Mr. Billy Mack?
Morning, Billy.
This is a dune restoration at 187 Dune Road in Bridgehampton. We're just looking to truck in some beach-compatible sand to restore a hollowed-out section of the dune.
Gonna get this done before season?
We're actually gonna schedule this next fall.
Okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say,
Change of heart.
Change of heart.
okay.
Okay.
So,
It looked all good to me when you changed,
Yeah.
you made the changes that we asked for.
I think we
last
started
time.
into
Yeah, we got
what you
the-
guys are
the-
looking for.
So then I can advance.
Advanced.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, there we go, imagine that. The next one up on your list.
You guys advancing that?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, made the changes we requested.
Yeah, 285 Surfside Drive, Bridgehampton.
Yes, thanks, Chip.
Yeah. This is the one that we were kind of trying to whale away at, right?
Yes, this one
Yeah.
we'd like to get done. What we're hoping to do, and you guys did a nice job cutting the Sag Pond Inlet and stockpiling sand there. It looks like a good project. We're hoping in the next couple days with this western wind, that inlet will close and we can actually
You
truck the
should be closing it
material.
yourself.
Yeah, well, that was my next
Yeah,
question.
no, that's not happening,
Yeah,
because we
alright.
got this plover thing coming up, and that thing's been going in and out, in and out, in and
Yeah,
out. so
it's
that's-
flowing nice.
Yeah, and
I
I'd love
like it.
I'd love to just see it going in and out, in and out, in and out, as long as,
Along as
I
possible.
don't see a lot of heavy weather to close it, honestly. I
Yeah,
think that thing is just gonna kind
keep
of
flowing.
keep doing its thing.
All right,
So
if
I
it doesn't, then we'll truck it
stay
around.
away
It's no
from
big
it,
deal.
yeah, please.
Absolutely. I was, with these western winds, typically it does weld
Sometimes, but
itself
that
shut.
thing is pretty
but-
deep.
Yeah, it is. It's flowing. Nice.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah,
indeed,
you're gonna know,
indeed.
you'll be the first to know.
Good. So, but I think with this, we provided everything you wanted, and
Yeah.
I think it's this
Yeah,
one's
Ed
good to
and I
go.
talked about it, and you have the, is it in there, about getting those poles the posts out, the steel?
The steel posts
Yes,
that are on the
they,
beach.
they
Oh,
added,
yeah. There's some remnants of all of that will get pulled out.
put
yeah.
in there, remove any existing exposed metal pole in the
Yeah.
dune area.
Yeah.
And then I saw in the email that it was the updated with the, really, our only real hangup was like the snow fencing within the yellow, and you updated that, so.
Yeah, that's all good.
We're
It's
good.
not on this one, James, but
It's on this,
Okay.
up here.
On the
Okay.
revised copy?
Yeah.
it's in the revised copy, yeah, we're good with it,
You good?
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Advance.
Thank you guys very much.
2 for 2.
There you go.
The 48 Redwood Road, Village of Sag Harbor.
Morning, board.
Morning.
Morning, Matt.
How are you?
I'm good.
So, Matt Ivins for the applicant. Let me give you a little background on this one. So there was an application submitted to the board a while ago for this proposed dock. It was a little bit too large. Originally, it was proposed at a 4x10 foot ramp leading to a 4x 46.2 foot catwalk, hinge ramp and floating dock. I was before the board maybe 2 months ago on this. And we came to the conclusion that it was, the conditions in the water were too shallow. So I redesigned the dock. We got rid of the floating dock, we got rid of the hinged ramp. Now it's basically a fixed platform on the end. We did get asked by other agencies to extend the landward side of the catwalk, so we wouldn't be putting a path right through the wetlands. So that's the change. And that's really about it. We've just downsized the dock.
And James, was this the one that was hung up with the Army Corps?
That's a different one.
That's a different one? All right. But this one's compliant for that, I'm guessing?
So you're working with the harbor committee on the landward edge of
It's got the height.
it, and they're all-
Actually, yeah, Department of State, DEC, Army Corps, they all came back and just said extended landward.
And they were all right with the height above the
Yeah.
wetlands and all the.
Yeah, we
site
achieved the
grasses
height and all that
height
good
and all
stuff.
that, okay.
And it meets your Blue Book regulation of 60 feet from the
So
mean
then-
water.
Sounds like-
Send it.
Yeah,
Okay.
did a good job
you think
redesigning
it's-
it.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Need
headaches,
the
trying to avoid
stamp
headaches.
Well, you did what you had to do,
Yeah.
you know?
Hey, Joe, do you want to do the one on Todd Point Road? while I'm here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Matt, we can use the stamp plan.
I'm
You
good
got
with
another
it.
one on there? Yeah, if you, while you're here.
Want to take it out of order, that's
Yeah,
fine.
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, okay, it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Reiterate Tower Point Road.
Yeah, I'll just go through that real quick. Joe, do you want me to do it, or?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This is a simple bulkhead reconstruction, no change in elevation, 10-foot buffer on the landward side comprised of beach grass, in and out, going from timber to vinyl bulkheading. That's about it.
And the buffer behind there is gonna,
10-foot, yep,
10 foot.
Cape American beach grass.
that's a nice project.
yes. Like you said,
Oh,
Yep.
so you're getting a good benefit then. You're getting rid
Yes.
of, basically, you're gonna get
I
a nice
did
buffer
the
where you have no
site
buffer.
With Matt last week, and it was I been having an issue with the beach grass, and he did say that they can have some additional renovations, right, for the property, so it's gonna be.
So I do have a question, because I think we gave a permit for this a while ago, and
For
then,
bulkhead reconstruction, or
yeah.
was it on that section, or was it on, because they did do the
They
opposite.
did the other side.
Yeah.
already.
Because I know the questions were that the original bulkhead was about 30 inches shorter than the one that is, because they added 6x6s and 6x6s and 6x6s.
Yeah.
So the bulkhead that you're proposing now,
Yeah.
is it gonna be the original height, or is it gonna be the height that's shown here,
It's gonna match the height that's there now.
which would be,
I mean, that'll be flush with the remainder of the bulkhead
well,
on the
the
property.
reason I'm asking is
Yeah.
because the bulkhead across the way that we permitted to is consistently high. And with northeasters, this place floods terribly, and it would just scour out and fill in this waterway that we had the county dredge.
Yeah.
So that's my concern, that, that all the material on the property maintain on the property,
property.
not, get,
Yeah, you're not
Looking
lowering,
out.
you're not lowering the
No,
elevation.
No,
No.
no.
no, because it floods terribly
Yeah.
there, even still. Okay.
Was it just Joe's?
I don't see any buffer language on the cover sheet.
Yeah, I'm gonna give, I'll do that, I'll put that on the cover, and I gotta get your stamp plans anyway, so I'll bring you those.
So buffer language, stamp plan.
All right.
You wanna approve, or do you wanna?
James, you want to advance it pending receipt of the,
That's up to you guys.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah,
I think
pending
you
the
could-
revised.
because you're right
buffer-
there.
Buffer
Cover
language,
added
yeah.
the Buffer.
yeah.
Yeah, I got,
We need
it's
stamp
fine.
plans anyway, so
Yeah.
we'll be advance for stamp plan.
Okay.
and the revision.
Then a
So it'll be on the
revised
next work
cover
session
sheet.
for.
Yeah, we'll put it on the next work session, that way we have all our ducks in a row here.
So advancing that.
You want to hold it?
Hold it for stamp
No.
plan.
Well, you're advancing pending the stamp plan.
Right.
Okay.
So advance
Okay.
pending stamp
So
plan.
If
that's gonna be on for stamp plan review next
Okay.
work session.
Yeah, the final review. Okay.
Thank you.
So now we're going to go to,
Caroline Hirsch.
exactly. Dynamic Legal. Kevin Springer. Dynamic.
Yes, sir. Morning.
Morning. Right, I think this was the one that I botched. It was
This
my-
is the one that
I
I
apologize, that was the.
at the end of the world. It happens. I can't sit here and say I made the mistake. Yeah, so there was, according to our last meeting, there was
Yeah,
no
the pictures were
pictures
in here.
or plans,
yeah,
but I
yeah,
believe
yeah.
you have them all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was a dock that was placed in
This was
without a permit.
Yeah,
Yeah, once
And
we
now
did
they're
the major dune restoration.
What is this, on the ocean side? Oh, okay. Because we had another one for the bay side a while ago, too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And,
Right, this looks familiar to you, Kevin? This is-
yep.
Looks like the dune restoration and sand fencing is working well. The
Yep.
stairs are completely buried.
This one's really behind before my time, so you guys would have a lot more backstory on where you want to let it go. I mean, obviously, it's already been constructed.
Well, it's compliant with the material, it's, you know,
Looks like it's working.
it looks like it's working well. I mean, the grass is all around the dock, and
Got
the handrails are only for the upper part off the house, where it's pretty high up, and then when it goes down to the stairs down, which would be compliant what we need as far as, you know, safe access.
They got an as-built fee built into this thing as well?
I believe we owe it. I don't know if we paid it or not. Actually, I'm gonna just double check.
But they'll pay, they'll pay it if they want the
Right, one way or
permit.
another.
Yeah, we would rather people come to us in advance so we can,
Yeah, there was,
Yeah.
there was a lot of discrepancy from what I heard. I don't know, from when the restoration was done and then when the dock was started. So I don't think that we paid, no, we still owe money.
right,
Yeah,
yeah, I got you. Should probably pay the application fee or something.
right.
All right, so what do you
we
think?
can advance it pending getting paid.
Well, they'll take care of that stuff.
I think we'll pay it.
They'll take care of it.
See, that's a good, you know, walkway. It's not high up. It's not going to interfere with any bird migrations and stuff like that. There isn't a lot of, you know, as far as railings and wires and stuff like that. So that's what we've consistently approved in the past, so it looks good.
Yeah, and if that dune grass keeps holding, it's just gonna
Yeah,
keep
building
going
it
up and up and up and up.
That would
Yeah.
hopefully be the idea, so.
Yeah. All
We'll
right.
have to do this again.
Okay.
We don't have stamp plans for this.
You don't?
I don't think so.
I have a set, mine says, I just have one that's not stamped, but
Can you, can you,
should
can you
definitely
get them,
have us.
we
No,
can
I
advance
can,
the
yeah.
pending stamp plans,
Yeah.
and just get them stamped plans.
Sure you don't have a chip, because I actually stopped by and saw, no, that's just a survey. It's a big set.
Yeah, I mean, there's this show here.
I mean, James, you have no record of it?
It's
I mean, you can get them,
right
right?
here.
Yeah, I can definitely get them. Like I said, I just, on the way here, I picked up they're not stamped, but I picked up one.
All right, you know what, advance it pending and then look
Yeah.
at this
Look at
internally.
this
and we'll go from there.
internally, it looks,
Advance it pending,
Well, I'm gonna do stamp plans, right? They're still-
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It'll be on for.
I'll pick them up today.
Yeah, we'll get the plans, and we'll do the final review at the next meeting, and
Correct.
if we have everything, then, you know, go to the
Yeah.
1 o'clock meeting.
It's not like you're waiting to build it, right?
Pipe down over there.
Easy, easy. All right,
44 Cobb. It's all right. This was just, we needed an updated cover sheet and the stamp plans, and it could be advanced.
You got it?
Nothing changed.
we have it all?
This is the culvert.
Yeah,
Well, no,
Town of Southampton project.
no, this is the 44 Cobb aisle.
Oh, okay.
This is the one that I was working at, I raised the height of the bulkhead so the road runoff didn't go over and all the plantings were native and I had the
Okay.
high tide bushes on the other end.
Okay, yeah, I remember
It
that one,
just
yes.
needed to be an updated cover sheet and stamp plans.
Okay.
Which I believe, I just wanna double check.
The emails said they were sent, so.
Alright, stamp plans are good. Yep.
We good?
Yeah, I have an updated cover sheet here, so,
Good.
yeah.
So, you know what it is? this one's showing,
Yeah, that's why I question it.
The address of the property, it doesn't mean you have to own a home or.
no, look at this.
Oh.
Follow me, this is leading us to believe it's a town of Southampton project,
Oh,
right? You see that?
So who's the,
Right. So
Who's the
this is
resident
not-
or-
This is,
Who's the applicant?
yeah,
Right.
that's why I said
right,
it.
so this is Christopher Beal,
Yeah.
right, but,
Oh, so that was an error?
that was
Yeah.
an
Right.
error.
yeah, no, so we're looking at it thinking it's a
Yeah.
town project.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
That
sorry,
was just
that's
a
my
mistake.
fault.
Yeah, no,
I
no
apologize.
problem. That's
Yeah.
why I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, that's
that's why you were
Yeah.
saying this is
I
the
was like, what's
culvert.
the hangup?
Because McLean and
Yeah.
the culvert, so we,
Yeah.
yeah, so we were working on that, so when we saw that, that's why,
So, I think this
My
could,
apologies,
this could be
guys.
advanced.
All good.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, that's why we're looking at it and we're like, what? You know,
All right,
good thing we cleared that up.
All right, Joe, it's on you, bud.
it's Monday, Bob, come on, guys.
Carolina.
All right,
Carolina.
Peconic Arena.
that's JMO Environmental. Glenn? How are you?
Morning.
Morning, Glenn.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good.
Where are we? Since we last spoke with the judging. You get it. Was the dock removed?
Oh, he's got it staked out, so we can, are these, is this currently, the stakes there currently, or is this, I know they were put there a while ago, so,
After the last meeting, you guys had, we left to remove the floats. They removed like the 13th, or 12th or 13th of February.
okay.
I sent you photos, and these are kind of wrinkled, but these are before and after. So the floats that had crossed the property line are gone.
Okay.
Okay.
That's always a problem. Okay?
Yeah.
And moving forward, they're gonna stay gone, correct?
Pardon?
Moving forward, they're gonna stay gone? They're not gonna reappear there?
Not there.
This has been a bone of contention for a long
I
time.
looked back into the records since we last met, I've seen that.
Yes, so, yeah. Well, after this meeting, I'm gonna go down there and look at the site here and, you know, see what it looks like as far as where the stakes are and how it logistically. Now, the stakes are gonna be the ones in front of the wetland here. Everything is gonna be done seaward of them, right? Not anything closer to the meadow?
Correct.
Yeah, you want to preserve that meadow.
Well, I mean, that's, you know, that's a very fragile shoreline, and literally, it's less than 25 feet to the roadway there. So, I mean, you know, when we originally did the bulkhead replacement back, I don't know, about 12 or 15 years ago, we were very aware of lowering the bulkhead down, making sure that the wetlands were maintained.
It didn't
and
slough
that-
off.
So it didn't slough off, yeah, so.
James, could you put the project description up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to pass these down?
Sure.
You know, I'm familiar with, you know, a lot of the,
So we don't have a 10-year maintenance dredging permit.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that has to be taken off the cover sheet.
What's that?
It says applicant seeks a 10-year
Yeah, that's got to come off,
maintenance
that's got to come off the cover sheet to clear up any misconception or ambiguity. We don't, that's the state has a 10-year. We don't have a 10-year. We have one, and you can do 4 renewals.
yeah.
But you got to take that off the cover sheet because that will create confusion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we can, you know, I think we can move forward, but we need to amend that wording because that's problematic.
No, I'll do that this afternoon and have it to Rob. Gotcha.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That way, we don't want any
Any question?
miscommunication or classification. It wants to, we
Yeah.
want to make it clear that our permits are for the term that we grant the permits and not going to be, superseding that with some wording there that's going to make a problem.
Okay.
So we got to
There's
get,
4 renewals, you said?
Yeah.
Yep, my recommendation would be to do the project, have someone go down, and do the bathymetrics after the project's done, and see if you had acquired the water depths that you initially indicated on the application or permit, and then if they're what you need as far as for navigation and everything, then we can close it out. But if you need to do more dredging, then you can just pay a fee to do another dredging and not pay the whole 9 yards again, basically, that would be the way I would see it. Is that?
Well, you gotta be consistent with what our Blue Book is,
Yeah.
and we don't do that, so they're gonna have to do the 1 year
Yeah.
and then just renew it, keep the thing running for the 4 more years.
Yeah.
And if you're only gonna take out X cubic yards, then that's all
Yeah.
that you're dealing with based on the assessment. But we need to make sure that our permit terms and conditions run,
And what is the time frame you got going on? You gonna do it in spring, or?
What's that?
What's the time frame you have for completion? No, yeah.
What is the dredging window?
I've submitted those, I think they're closed right now.
Yeah, everything is closed right now, so it'll
Yeah,
probably
so when are you
happen.
gonna do it in the fall?
Yeah, you're gonna comply with the state dredging window.
Yeah, the windows didn't coincide, they overlap each other at one point in time, but I think the state goes later until the fall.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so I think that you're okay to advance at this point, but you need to amend to eliminate that wording.
Okay,
That way, there's no
no question.
misunderstanding.
All right.
So we're advancing pending the wording on the
Yep.
cover sheet?
Yeah,
And
updated
basic-
cover sheet.
When you send in a notice of commencement, just have the person in our office contact Joe here, it's his area, so he can go down if he wants to oversee the dredging and see what's going on.
Now,
Right.
did you said last time as well, and you mentioned earlier about the stake. When do you need it staked by? I mean, it's nice little ice and stuff. We could,
I mean, if you're not gonna do it until the fall, then I would do it by the fall. Don't do it now, because the boats are just, if they're there, I would like to take a ride down there and get, look at the bulkhead and look at how.
no, I understand that point.
So they're not there now, so there's no sense of us going down.
Okay.
So just let the board know, a couple weeks before you do the project, that we can go down there and look at it and, get an
I just
understanding.
want to do it
of
the
where
right way, because it's been a long fight.
Yeah,
It's been a project, yes.
good job.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Glenn.
Well, thank you very much. Be well, all.
Thank you. 175 Town Point.
Anybody representing 175
That's
Tapwood?
me.
Had a feeling.
Yeah, haven't done this before. Apologize in advance for what
We'll get you on the mic.
You gotta sit down, state your name for the record, and sign in.
my name is Michael Alex.
So you're looking for pre-existing structures
Yes,
to
I'm
revise?
sorry.
Okay. Are you looking to replace any materials?
I need to repair the stairs. This is something just came up. I don't know what the rules are about anything, so I thought I would ask. But generally speaking, no, I'm not looking to replace anything. But the stairs are shot, and so what do I do legally?
Maybe replace them.
There's also a
Are there not,
shot.
when I see new stairs now,
Yep.
there's like plastic steps and
Yeah.
holes. What I've got is ancient pieces of wood.
Yeah, so the through flow, the water will, you're
It'll
gonna
keep it
use,
from blowing them apart again. You have a
Yeah.
better shot. You can't stop ice, but you have a better shot of that.
Right.
And that's called through flow?
yeah, or light penetrating decking,
Light penetrating
what they
decking.
call it. They sell it in pieces and it,
3 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, and 6 foot wide pieces.
Yeah, 3 feet will do.
there you go.
Thank you.
And this float, is this gonna be used for the, it's not compliant?
No, it's not compliant. It's a swim float.
Yeah.
It sits right on the bottom.
Okay.
So we'll have to remove that.
Yeah,
You don't
that's,
think of it?
yeah, that's not, well, that's on the, so here's the,
It was there when we bought the house.
yeah, but it's.
We'll clean it up.
That's
Yeah,
whatever I need to do.
Yeah, that's not permitted.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, historically, there was eelgrass in the whole entire creek here. I don't think it no longer exists, but, anything like that would cause shading on submerged aquatic vegetation, so.
Well, actually, and I think that wetland would build itself back through there.
Yeah.
It's been gaining over.
Oh, everything grows there, yeah. Is there,
So these pictures that you have of all these timber piles, are you looking to do something with these things, or what?
I don't know what's.
This here?
oh, I was just trying to illustrate, that's the end of the bulkhead meeting the bulkhead, it's the instruction said to send photos.
Yeah,
gotcha.
no.
But
No,
the-
they're great, right? We're just trying to figure out what you're trying to do here. Just-
Right,
I don't
'cause
want
this,
to do anything.
He's legalizing all
I'm
of
le,
it.
this is,
oh,
so,
you want to legalize all of this?
He's trying to legalize all of it.
yeah. I filed a complaint about my neighbor building on our property, and so she called, and this is retaliating, because she said we didn't have a
The
permit.
last meeting, this
Oh.
is the last meeting, this is the carryover from the last meeting.
Yeah, so
Oh.
that was retaliation.
Oh, no, is this what, this is the?
Here it is.
I believe both
Oh,
properties have
God, I was
violations.
trying to slide
Yeah,
my
but
bias
that-
here.
that's
So is
not-
anything- Yeah, so is there anything on the original survey for these stairs, or is there anything that's showing?
There's an original bulkhead, it looks like it was there, but it was raised up with
Is
three,
it permitted?
no,
There's a survey in there that shows the dock and the steps that's proposed to be legalized. I have it up right here.
it looks like it was placed in the 50s.
I
But I
was,
mean, do we have, like, record that the bulkhead was there?
You're gonna have to do a title search on the property and pull up names and see if there's a permit that was granted to the previous property owner for this.
Because otherwise, then we're playing with fire again, like we would be over in North Sea. It's
I
kind of
mean,
like,
you'd be permitting an illegal structure because it has treated lumber.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. So,
so
yeah, I mean, what,
first we have to see if there was ever a permit pulled for this bulkhead in the
right,
first place.
right.
The Bay Constables asked us, we pulled all the permits that we had, we could not find any. That's why the Bay Constables gave an OB for this.
But did you do a title search with names back to the
We
50s?
don't-
I'm,
we don't
I'm
go back
just
to that.
telling this gentleman here, because it looks like the bulkhead is put in the 50s and 60s. If you had a name of the property owner back then we could pull, you know, that's a title search.
I know two owners back, I think it's the 80s, Pam Geiger, that's as far as.
Yeah, but that was, this was, bulkhead was.
Older than that, yeah, I
I'm
don't,
gonna say just off the top of my head that none of this was permitted. And I'm just looking at the way that it was constructed.
Probably
You know,
wasn't.
it was not, you know, like, it was not done by kind of.
Yeah, but there's a bulkhead. Do you
The
have a-
bulkhead, yeah, I have the bulkhead.
There's a bulkhead that I would say was probably permitted back, no, you don't have the picture. This is
Yeah,
the, this
that
is the.
one.
Yeah, that's, there's an actual bulkhead
That
there.
might have been pulled. All the stuff that's above that was never
Not this
obviously
stuff.
No, that's
pulled,
all-
yeah.
This stuff
That's
that's
all
all
illegal.
bolted on, that's
Yeah.
all, exactly.
It's a mess.
So,
That's why I was asking, what do you know,
you got returns here, and
this is
it's a
rotten.
shame you guys just couldn't just get along.
Uh,
Now you got a
the
big
problem
box of worms.
is that
Yeah.
they actually build on our property,
Yeah.
and we've asked them, they were friends, and we've asked them, but they're, if you look at their property, they've built all the way down. They're always building cement, construction.
I was there. I was on site,
I was there too.
so I walked the property.
Okay, so we had just kept like trying to be friends until my wife figured out that they'd built a walkway on our property. We said, please move it. Someone told us what the rules were. I'm an idiot. I've never owned a home in my life before. And someone said, it has to be 10 feet in. So we asked, they said no. We asked again, the owner, John McFadden, died, elderly man. We were waiting for them because their lawyer didn't want to meet. And then instead of getting in contact with us, they expanded the thing last fall, and that's when I ended up talking to Officer Downs. But I don't know the history of the property.
I think
You know
honestly,
more about this than
honestly,
I
we're gonna have to get some backstory on whether that original permit that was built there was even ever permitted. And if it was not ever permitted, then we're gonna have,
You know, take it out.
then it's gonna have to be
Take it out.
Yeah,
basically taken out. So I
Or
think that's your
modified.
first press, and you might wanna have somebody, that's like,
Yeah.
you know, like,
So when-
that has,
You have to call someone, you know,
yeah, you need somebody to,
an engineer,
yeah,
What kind of,
like,
a consultant.
consultant,
sitting here.
an environmental consultant.
okay. So when you say remove the thing that's there,
Legally, because nothing was ever permitted, I can't say that, if nothing was ever permitted, it's all gotta go.
Okay.
Right.
And then what happens so that the property doesn't just fall?
Then you have to replace with
You would
with
need-
legal, with FUBA compliant materials, so.
Shoreline
It
restoration.
has to be done correctly.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think a lot of research has to be done here.
Yeah, but if you do a title search on your property and look back to the late 50s, early 60s, of people that, a chain of title, and get us those names to our office, we have, permits that we issued back all the way to like 1928. So if that, which is a lot older than what you're looking at there. So if we had a permit in our office that was for that bulkhead, the original bulkhead, not the 4x4s or 6x6 that were added on, then then it would be a permitted structure, and then we would ask to work with you as far as mitigating what was put on top of that original
Okay.
bulkhead, if it was an original bulkhead.
Okay. So I go and do a title search to see who owned this place back to the 50s.
Yeah, I would say,
Yeah.
go to there, and then come up with a name, contact our office, because we have a catalog of names and permits.
And I just send that to the trustees
Yeah,
main?
yeah, you would ask, file for a FOIL request, Freedom of Information Act. Stephanie Stone is in our office. She's the lady that does the FOIL requests, and then she would be able to look for the information if we have it in our, in our system.
Okay, so I do the title search, I get that information in a FOIL request to Stephanie Stone.
Yeah, once you get the names, you do the FOIL, asking for any of these property owners of the residents that you own, if they had, is there a permit for a bulkhead in their name?
Okay, search.
Because we have to clean this whole thing up now,
Yeah.
okay? So we got a big mess that we have to clean up, and we've got to get some basis to start somewhere.
I've done this a couple dozen times. You just need names and, we can do some research.
Okay.
It'll take a little bit of time, but, and if you're in the process of doing this, when you go to court, you can explain to the judge that you came before the board and you're in the process of trying to get the proper permitting for the property.
Okay. This is the first time I've heard the words going to court. I don't,
Well, you issued a violation, correct?
yeah.
And then the next part of the violation would be go before a judge, and he would make some kind of ruling or set some kind of procedure to either.
I mean, Mark, you want to speak to
Mark
that?
is our
No,
attorney.
no, you're exactly explaining it just right, and the judge will normally stay everything until there's some
Yeah.
feedback, if you explain that there's a,
You're-
title search being.
You're in a
done.
process of doing,
Right.
rectifying the problem, correct?
And
Right.
as long as you keep making forward progress, everybody's working together.
And I don't know what stage the constables are at
Yeah.
now in terms of papers being filed, so it may already be on the
Yeah.
road to being put on the next docket or the one after.
Yeah.
But the trustees, I suppose, would have discretion to
mean-
stay the matter now or to contact the constables, but it may be a little bit late for that, so.
Your contact person for this whole project would be Joe here. He's, new on a board, and I'll gladly help him,
Yeah, well-
or Mark through the process, because like I said, I've done it more than once.
Right, but the thing is also, it could get complex. You may need some counsel also, or some professionals to help guide you through this process, because it does get,
It gets a little.
it gets, and if plans are needed, if there's engineered, you don't know where you're gonna need, so you may need some help. It may be beyond.
I surely need some help. I
Right.
don't know what I don't know.
Right, well, you may be beyond what, an individual homeowner is able to provide. As you see, we're having conversations all morning asking for stamped engineered plans and hydrographic survey, there's all types of things that go into the permitting process.
I mean, this was all pumped anyway. This was all pumped at one time
was
anyway.
dredged.
So you might have actual permits for this. But you don't know. I mean, this might have been,
There was
yeah.
a FOIL that was submitted back in November, and there's no records of any permits, but that we only go up to like back to the 70s, right?
This
Like
is
late
much older
70s.
than
So
this.
it's
You gotta-
older.
you gotta go
Right,
beyond
yeah.
that.
They pumped
Yeah.
this
Right.
back in the 50s. So, yeah, there might be something, there might not.
I think we don't need any further speculation relative to this, quite frankly.
Yeah.
I think what we need to do is the proper research and then get some professionals involved so that we can best deal with cleaning this up.
give our office a call, and Jessica, we'll give you my number, or Ed's number, we can talk and go for it, okay?
Great, thank you very much. But
Joe will be
immediately-
your contact person, and I'll gladly
Joe,
help.
that's
Yeah.
Michael, pleased to meet
Yeah,
you. The thing I do immediately is the title search and get that information to Stephanie Stone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct, yeah.
And I would keep all this as a package for when you have to go before the, like, I'd show, like, keep this as like showing I'm making an effort when you have to go before the court, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
you know, like have. have
Officer
record.
Downs said that, and you gave me the
Yeah.
time schedule, and I know I got
Yeah,
to
so just keep
you.
good records of your forward progress on trying to rectify the situation.
Okay,
Perfect.
What's your
Because we
email
can't do anything
address?
until we,
it's my name, Michael, Alex, the digit 1.
Okay.
So it's Michael Alex number 1 at Gmail.
I'm gonna send you Stephanie's contact information.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
Thank you, everyone.
because we can't do anything until the courts.
He's got a long
Am I
road.
correct?
Well, he can start to do.
Well, you can start doing the research.
I'm gonna, this is, I
Yeah,
can
research.
get those names, that, I can do that.
It's doable.
Yeah.
It's doable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
One step at a time,
Yep.
So, hold,
All right.
obviously.
obviously, hold.
Okay, Matt, you're on deck.
Okay, you get DeCar Shores, Gina, for Craig Arm at 801 Montauk Highway.
Again? I actually don't have that file with me.
You don't?
No.
So I was over there last week, and I thought it was straightforward. However, today I'm realizing that it's got a history.
It's got a history.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, the permit was completed by a different person under a different name. When they did the project, they did some minor modifications, and they were supposed to have crossover steps, and so there's some minor alterations. They did some railings. So I went before the board to basically legalize what was there. There was some also buffer being mowed that is not mowed anymore.
Right.
So it's basically just kind of housekeeping right now to just clean up what was done.
Right.
That's it.
Okay.
And thank you for bringing it up, because, you know, sometimes stuff just gets put aside, you know?
Right.
So it's just cleaning up, housekeeping, really. That's it.
Okay.
James?
Yeah, I think the main issue is was the mowing in there.
Right. Yeah, there's a notice of non-compliance, that's number one.
Right. And then what else was on there?
No 4 by 3 foot stair up to catwalk. Number 3 was the long catwalk measures 114 feet, exceeding permitted measurements by 18 feet. And number 4 was no pass, repass stairs.
So where are we at on that now?
Just legalizing what was there, so we did as-built plans, certified by an architect. It's
What is it?
actually-
So
What
do you
about
have the length?
There
Yeah.
was tons of, like,
I didn't check the length. I didn't know that there was.
Do you know
an
if the
issue.
length was brought back to the permitted length? Everything else is good?
Well,
Or
I
you
think you're
expanding-
looking to modify it, right?
You're looking-
to-
Right, no, looking to modify. So
You're
it was
modifying
basic.
to-
So it's more than just
The
housekeeping,
length
it's a
didn't get longer,
modified,
it's that the portions of the dock were switched out. Like, it didn't get longer.
Than the original permit.
Right. So what they did was they lengthened the catwalk to follow the grade instead of, you know.
Did it
so-
go landward or
So-
seaward?
Landward.
Landward. So what does it look like relative to the plans that we have? The actual versus the plans?
Well, it looks like the plans right now,
It does.
yeah. So it went
They're
landward
modifying to
because they
match
had
the
to
plans
connect.
now.
Okay.
because
So it
their
got
original
landward, it
permit
didn't
did
go
not.
out seaward
And,
by
and,
law.
and the modified plans now meet Blue Book compliance?
And you have
appears so.
Passover steps?
I don't see
No,
any
because
pass-
it's
they-
all intertidal, it's all corporation in there.
Yeah,
they're
I'm just,
not-
I don't,
So-
I see the, I don't see
They had
the
originally
GIS.
applied for it, which
Okay.
was silly for Donald
you
Jewel
couldn't-
even apply, because you can't walk in
Yeah,
there
it wouldn't, it
anyway.
wouldn't
Well,
work
my
out.
question is, the dock that goes to the bay, is there any access off that dock in case someone falls in? Is there a ladder or some kind of safety ladder or something that
No,
you can
well,
get
there's
back on the dock?
The float.
Yeah,
the
but I mean,
float's
if a
underwater.
child falls in, and how is he gonna get back out of the water?
Well, it's actually all to grade. He basically fall in the cord grass and fall on land.
Well, I mean, you should probably have some kind of ladder.
Just a ladder or something.
Yeah, so you can, if you want, if something drops in the water, you want to go down in the cordgrass and fish it out, and you can't reach it with a pole or something, a safety ladder would be, I know Trustee Pell was very adamant about putting safety ladder on a lot of his project.
That was like the end of the dock, like a catwalk.
Yeah,
This
but-
is actually like on land.
It's on that. So do you have pictures, you have current pictures in there, James?
Because I don't know what the elevation of bulkhead is.
You can actually step from the
Oh,
cordgrass
see,
onto the bulkhead.
I can't see that.
Yeah, well, that's, we're trying to get the visuals here, that way.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a
Like,
foot,
the
or is it
cordgrass
10
is
feet?
like
Did you go to this site?
4 feet high.
Yeah,
It's
but if it's
crazy.
a bulkhead, it can be a foot higher, it can be
I don't
8
wanna
feet
have
high.
I think the
photos
bulkhead's
in
actually
here.
lower than the cordgrass.
No, I mean, I'm
Because
just trying
It's
to,
an old
got
bulkhead
it.
Yeah.
that's sort of dilapidated.
yeah.
That's just kind of going to the ways of the wind. So you actually like walk up onto the grade.
Okay, so there's no steps off the
No,
bulkhead? I'm
no,
just trying to make it,
no.
if someone falls in, that, there's not a
Yeah, no,
problem.
it's actually, they would actually fall on land
Okay.
and be in the middle of very, very sharp cordgrass.
All right. Now we gotta go upside down. There we go.
So you see how the grade comes up and there's Spartina, pretty much, and then it walks up to like a dilapidated part of an old timber bulkhead, and you literally could just walk up onto the property.
And if the deck of the
See, it's all land.
catwalk is so low, why do they need handrails for?
Were there handrails on the on the permit?
I believe Donald did put handrails on the original permit.
On the original
On the
permit?
original one,
You have that?
yeah.
No, I'm just,
I mean, go back to those handrails, like, I agree, I mean, the handrails there, it's like,
I mean, if this is only a foot high, I mean, you really don't need a handrail.
He's
They-
got a little kid, so he's got little kids.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of,
They just went for it and hoped for the best.
I have to see what the prior plans and all this other, what's the prior plans?
What's the approved plans look like? The original
Like the
approved?
original, I'd have to look, Donald Jewel did
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
think it did have
that,
a
we need to
handrail,
get,
though.
we need to go that far back, right?
This one's
Mark?
Yeah, I agree.
deep, man.
Yeah, that's, no,
The
that's
original-
not even them.
Yeah,
Donald Jewel drew.
Those are them,
The-
James?
Yeah, this is the original.
these are the
Okay.
original plans.
All right, so they had them on there, they were
Yeah,
approved with them
they-
on there, so.
Yes, they were approved with them on there.
I mean, it shows a
But it
double
looks-
rail, it doesn't show the,
Yeah, they're not exactly the same style if you look at that, but
But it doesn't specify, it just says provide railing.
it doesn't specify it.
No, they got, I mean, they have a double rail.
Yeah, they had a
So
double rail on
we
the
permitted
original
it, then
approved.
it's legal.
Right.
Yeah, I would say we're not gonna do that, but when you look at it
In
now,
the future, keep it in mind, but it was permitted.
because when you look at it now, you're like, it's too much. But if it was on there and it was approved,
on
it's
there.
on there and it was approved, and that's it.
When was that?
Game over.
When was that approved?
This one- Well, the original one was approved a long time ago, along with the
2021?
DEC permit
21?
that approved actually the house and the dock at the same time. And then it was approved later, because Craig did his own drawings.
Okay.
And so it was approved with the railing.
All right. I
So
mean,
the question is, are we now compliant and matching? That's the question.
Yes, so what's on the drawings is what's there.
And you're, Matt? You good?
If it's compliant.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the
And the
property right
buffer
next to
strip.
the turkey, right next to
Yes, the
the
bridge.
bridge. I remember
Yep.
this was a
It was both Phil's old.
I
both Phil's
remember
old
this very
property.
well now. I was there a few times. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
We
Yes.
good?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Okay,
I'm
advancing.
still here.
You have another one here.
This next one is 40 Club Lane, Remsenburg.
Okay, this is Gym Trainer. It's a bulkhead reconstruction. Pretty standard, match the neighbor's height to the southwest, which is exactly 12 inches higher, with a vinyl sheet piling. And Go ahead and give it to me, because I'm already ready to negotiate.
Well, the bulkhead is like a mess there.
It's a mess.
Completely failing.
Sinkholes, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Like the dock walkway, you get pictures, the dock itself is on a steep angle now. But the bulkhead is like, it's like pushing out from the sediment behind it. You know, they have the fencing, they have the stone. As far as, you know, once again, we would love to see more grasses in that buffer zone as much as possible.
So currently, there's a stone
Mhm.
buffer there right now, along with the walkway.
Mhm.
I did propose, which I'm allowed to try to get for the client, a 4-foot wide walkway, untreated, the length of the structure, as well as the additional 6-foot to equal 10-foot of buffer area.
What's the additional 6 foot gonna be?
Well, it was stone. It is stone right now,
What are you gonna
actually.
propose?
So this is my idea. So, as I was drawing this, I had advised the client, he's got some really gorgeous red cedars, about 40 feet to the north side of the bulkhead. And I said, well, they are gonna get destroyed, because pretty much everything 20 feet behind the bulkhead gets decimated. And he was heartbroken, actually. So we are actually digging them up and saving them, and then replanting them. That's one. And then I said, listen, Jim, trustees charge per square foot for your walkway. Do you want me to save you a lot of money? So I'd like to cut back the walkway to 80 feet instead of 182 feet. So it's 100 foot.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like,
It's-
why is he spending all this
Exactly.
money?
He doesn't
on a
need it.
Exactly,
walkway?
he
It's,
doesn't
like,
need it. He
ridiculous.
doesn't need it.
I was gonna
So,
reverse the
right,
question.
so not only are we gonna replant those cedars, we're going to, which I could specify in the permit, even though some of them go beyond 10 feet. but
Yeah, if
I'll
it's out of our
specify it
jurisdiction, I
anyway.
don't think you need to do that. And I
Right.
think.
I just
um,
wanted to tell you.
No, I appreciate
We're
that.
gonna save them.
I appreciate that.
And then I'm gonna cut back the 4-foot wide untreated boardwalk to 80 feet instead of 182. So it's only in the right side, so if you're looking at the water, the right side, the south side of the property, you know, where he uses. He does have children. He would like to keep the rock, if at all possible, the length, which is what's there right now, but it's up to you.
Can there be a section to the north that is less
That's
rock,
ex-
more plants?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Can we either add plants in the rock, in native plantings?
See, I personally think that's a really good
I love it,
application, because
honestly.
it does two birds with one stone, you
Right.
know, like, but it stabilizes, and it helps stabilize, and it also has, you know, permeability that goes
Exactly.
down.
Right,
So
right.
I would love to see something like that.
So,
Okay.
so why don't you design it?
Section here.
So what I'm gonna do is, what I really like to do, because I like to keep the options open, because I do native landscape design too. Instead of doing beach grass plugs, I'd like to specify only native plants inside the stone buffer in that area where the red
Like
cedars
beach
are, so
plums
100
or
feet.
like,
Yeah,
Well, I
those
like
are
little
those.
blue stem, actually, because it's nice and clean. And see, what happens is when the beach
What-
grass starts growing and the ticks go on it, and there's a lot of deer in the area, and,
Okay, so, but we at least need some type of a ratio, though.
oh,
right?
like.
Like
well,
how
I
many
usually-
plants to how much stone versus, you know, we don't want to see an abundance of stone and then just a couple of plants
Yeah.
and, you know, you're in compliance. But we
I
need to
get
know what the
that.
ratio is.
So what we usually do is a spacing, instead of a ratio per
Okay,
se.
then give us a
So like
spacing.
beach grass is every 12 inches on center. So, little blue stem comes in 6-inch pots.
Yeah.
And we could do every 2 foot on center, which will pretty much equal, because that's
yeah, you
this
don't wanna
wide and
cram
not
them too
a plug.
tight, because then they're not gonna do
You don't
their
wanna get
thing.
them too
Yeah.
tight,
No.
exactly. So I would say every 2 foot on center or every 3 foot on center, a little blue stem. But I like to specify just native plants and
So
with
then-
appropriate spacing.
So you need to adjust your cover sheet and your plans to reflect that. That way
Okay.
it's clear.
Yeah.
Okay.
What are are there returns on this on either end, or?
No, it's,
Just butt it up to the neighbor's property?
It just butts up, yeah. Okay, I will revise the cover, I will revise the plans, I will get it to you, and cut back a lot of boardwalk and save a whole lot of money,
There you go.
and save red cedars. Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Anything else?
It's a project
I
on the
know,
water.
I
You with
know.
that?
On the southwesterly winds.
They're big.
Yeah, there's gonna be a
All
whole
right.
discussion next time.
So now-
It comes back to,
So we're done with this one, right?
We're done with that
So now
one.
you wanted to put another one on here,
I
right?
would like to if possible.
19, Seatuck?
Correct. Very, very similar situation. It's in a cove in Remsenburg, and it's bulkhead reconstruction. And then same situation. I already, the owner wanted stone and walkway along the whole thing. I said, nope, not doing it. So he only does, how about 40 feet? Is that good enough towards the right side of the property, the north side of the property? So I cut it back already before even coming here.
And there's a lot of problems with this too, right? This is a pretty problematic property.
Well, the house is pretty much condemned, actually, and the fire department we're offering the fire departments, they're gonna practice on this house, so we kind of need to get this, yeah. So Quag is gonna practice, West Hampton, as well as Eastport Fire Department are gonna practice on this house.
Practice what exactly?
Burning it down.
Yeah.
open
Well,
burn.
no, they're not gonna burn it down. That would be a lot of fun. They're not
That's
gonna
how they
burn it
start,
down.
they
So
put it
they
out,
go
yeah.
in and they, bust out the windows, they bust the roof for ventilation, they do all the fire department fun stuff, with their gear on. No, we're not burning it down, but that would be a lot of fun.
They've done that.
So they're gonna go in and have fun.
Okay.
So they get like days, you get Tuesday, Wednesday, you get Wednesday,
It
Thursday.
seems like there's a lot of bulkheads all over the place, huh?
Yeah, it's in really bad shape.
Yeah, it's like
Pricey
plywood
still on
everywhere.
this. It was a mess.
It's just really I know people love these walkways along these bulkheads. It's just kind of like, I've lived on the water all my life, and I don't know why. Like, you want more, because it's just more headache and more to fix, and more for the ice to rip apart,
Right,
and more
right.
for the tides to blow apart.
Yeah, not
So-
necessarily in this area, but flooding is a concern in this area, which is why I like
Anything
the
on the water
rock
is
because
maintenance,
of
you
flooding.
know that, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Hey, you're right.
Yes.
So,
So, what I'd like to propose is also putting, I'd like to keep the stone where the walkway is just stone, because there actually is a single mom and a little boy moving into this house when it's done. And we're always concerned about ticks, so I'd like to keep that by the walkway, stone, because it's clean, no bugs. The rest of it, so everything to the left, I'd like to still do stone but put plants inside, but not beach grass. I wanna do the same thing, I wanna do the little blue stem.
The area of proposed decking that you want to look at us approving, is it going to have helical anchors or some kind of mechanism, so when we get a large surge of water, it doesn't float up and it doesn't?
Yeah,
get-
it always does in here, so we always do the posts extra long. It depends on the contractor, some of them do the concrete on the bottom.
I mean, with some,
but-
with tubes
Or
and
we do
some.
helical J-bolt anchors.
Because after Sandy, I don't know how many people's these little decking, it was just like all over the bay.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of it was treated lumber way back. Now we're using, tropical hardwoods. I mean, even if you could use some kind of light penetrating decking here would be great, because it would never pull up, because it has the ability for the water to rise in. But I just want to make sure that it is properly engineered, and that
Yes.
we're not going to have to, have our marine maintenance guys pick up people's decks and stuff like that in the
Yeah,
future.
I always do like a J-bolt with an extra long post. At
Okay.
the very minimum.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I've never heard the words blue stem so much as today.
I know.
So can you tell me, please?
So look
how-
up little blue stems.
What's yeah, please do, because I'm interested to know what is the difference in the deep rootedness between the Cape American beach grass and the blue stem? Do
Blue
they?
stem's roots go down almost 18 inches, when it's fully grown. So it basically has like a spire that goes up the center, and then it's kind of like a little puffy ball. It looks like a little dribble.
Yeah, I mean, because the big concern is like, you want it to look nice on the top,
Yeah.
but you want to have something to stabilize.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a
beach
big enough
grass-
root base.
So what happens in high velocity areas, so like Mauritius Bay, Bayfront, Shinnecock, so what happens is I like stone along those areas, because the tidal and the hurricane force winds and the wave will come up, wash over, take all the sand. There goes the beach grass, there goes the sand. It's stupid. So you always want to do stones, even a larger stone in a high velocity area. and/or a flooding area. Because what happens if the flood comes up and over the bulkhead and it's little pea gravel, which is silly because it just takes it all with it. And then you have scouring out behind the bulkhead, a situation, and if the bulkhead sheets aren't long enough, then it pulls out the
Collapses.
bottom.
Yeah.
So you'd always, so stone really honestly strengthens a bulkhead. It stabilizes it and it provides drainage. So imagine a big, long French drain behind the bulkhead.
Mhm.
Holds the plants in if the plants are inside the stone, because the stones are set in sand. And then the plants could pretty much, and I like to use not a beach grass necessarily, because eventually a big clump of beach grass would hold up some sand and help erosion. But the shrub species or the grass species actually anchor and go down a lot lower.
Well, this is like what I went back to, like every time I have a return, there's gonna be a high tide bush. Because the high tide bush is the only real thing that's really gonna hold the.
Besides
past
that,
the
and
return.
phragmites, and we don't
Yeah,
want that,
We
so.
don't really want frag, but I really, I know you're kinda like set on this planting for now, but I really would like to see multiple species, because there are failures and there are dichotomies of plants where
Right.
one's able to like help the other.
Yeah.
So
There's a
rather than a
lot of
monocrop,
stuff.
like
Right.
throw
Well,
some
that-
Montauk daisies in there, throw
No,
some.
no, the Montauk daisies
Yeah.
are not native.
Well, I mean.
Only the
So-
Montauk.
But, yeah.
But they are salt
I
tolerant.
get it, I get it, I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it though. So that's why I like to give them at least the option, not specify beach grass, because then whoever's gonna close
Yeah,
the
there's
permit now.
the shrub species
Isn't gonna
will
close the
hold.
permit if it's
Yeah.
less than,
Yeah.
more than beach grass.
And back to your point with the pea gravel, I know that like at different, like when we have a low sill bulkhead, this whole idea that you're gonna plug plant in sand is ridiculous. You know,
Yes.
like if you actually go into a marsh and stuck your hand into a marsh and felt what you're gonna have like different sized rocks, clamshells, mussel shells,
Mussels,
like
yeah.
stuff that's holding the
Yep.
biomedia
Yep,
for a long enough time for the root system to actually build up. It's not straight sand.
you are
So it's
absolutely
like,
correct.
I think that like actually coming into terms with something that's more stabilizing behind the bulkhead than just straight sand
Yeah.
is ideal. And then you add species of plants that build a root system to hold that,
Right.
is kind of the goal that we're all
Well,
after.
that's what we do
Yeah.
on bluff restorations. We have to specify shrub species, actually.
Yeah.
But sometimes at the bulkhead, it's not practical because people want to use their bulkhead in their waterfront. So the areas where the red cedars are, on that other project, would be a great opportunity to put in and mix in and intermix some shrub species, some other grasses, because it's not just little bluestone. You could do switchgrass. You could do a lot of different species that will actually, hold, and they come in 1-gallon pots.
Mhm.
So,
You're not gonna just get blown away the next time you get a
Exactly,
high tide.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's your
I'm
other
with you.
specialty, so we
Yeah.
gotta
that's
design
what
something.
I do.
Well, you want to design a natural shorefront that's never been disturbed. I
Yeah.
mean, you have, Spartana, you have Alton Flora, you
Right.
have
And
the
some
Rosa
people,
Rugosa.
some people don't have the money sometimes to do the shrubs, because not everybody that lives by the water is a millionaire. So then, they have the option of doing the beach grass, which is $1.25 a plug for live. And, you have to, so I have to kind of balance everything.
Sure.
Yep.
So where are we at on this specific application right now?
Scott, there's been numerous complaints about the fill behind washing into the creek. I don't see any dredging proposed on the application, so I don't know if that's something you guys want to
It
consider.
it absolutely is. I mean, if there's gotta be some reclamation dredging here.
Well, normally what happens with any bulkhead, just in general, is 5 feet off the bulkhead always gets dredged.
Okay, we're
as part of the
we're not doing,
project.
we need it on the applications now, because we've run into issues here, okay, time
Okay.
and time again. From now on, don't use that as your rule of thumb,
Okay.
please. Specify, put it on there, that way we know. I'm not gonna get into examples, but we need to do that, please, so if we can amend
Okay.
that to deal with this concern.
Absolutely.
And bringing that material that is in the bay back and putting it on the property, you're going to get a much better
Absolutely.
soil for, plantings around the water. A lot of these plantings like
True.
this
And they'll get
organic
a
and,
nicer depth to bring a kayak up or
Yes.
something too. So,
Yeah.
but in general, 5 feet always gets taken out,
Right.
no matter what.
So-
If we do more, we're allowed to do 10. We're allowed to do up to 10.
Right, but for our application, we need it on there. We needed to say
Okay.
reclamation, show it on there, that way there's no questions and everybody is aware. Again, I don't want to get into examples, but,
I agree.
Yep.
So I'll add a reclamation. I do have to talk to the contractor and the owner to see if they're gonna do 5 or 10. But no matter what, I'll put it on, and then.
yeah, it
have
has
the
to be. Yeah, so
native
in the-
species.
right, in the future, no, definitely do that.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. Thank you.
So Matt, where are we at with this one? Still not,
Do we hold it until we get those?
Hold for
yeah, we gotta hold.
Yeah.
We have to hold. All right, at least you got
Thank you.
farther along. Have a great one, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, general permit applications for determination, final stamp plans. We have Madeline EQ2 LLC of 2 Squires.
I don't see stamp plans in here for this one.
That's the bluff restoration in front of the old Caffrey House. They need architectural plans from a, basically a landscape designer for them?
I don't see any stamp plans. I'm not sure if they sent them or not.
All right, so, and
I'll
they
double,
left.
do you have them in there?
It would be,
They might
it
just not be uploaded.
You don't have them?
wouldn't be, I don't have that
We
plan
don't
here.
have that.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll double check
Folder.
it.
All right, so let's hold it until you double check. Let's be sure. Okay?
And if we have stamp plans, we could move it forward.
Right, it's okay. Put that on hold. And now we've got the town of Southampton's Bay Avenue, Hampton Bays.
Yep. McLean, that's a road end restoration with beach access steps to Shinnecock Bay. I know we had discussed it with the consultant. It's gonna be a 2-phase project. The first phase is the restoration in front of the roadway with the steps, and the second phase is gonna be drainage upland, which will, be in the town highway jurisdiction.
The highway is kind of signed into this one?
Yeah.
I know we received the stamp plans for this one. We don't have them uploaded for some reason.
But we do have them.
We do have them, yes.
Okay, you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
And then Carmen Point Drive LLC, 35 Carmen Point Drive, Hampton Bays. The owner's the applicant. I know we went back and forth on this for a couple years, so
Do we have them?
I believe it's a seasonal dock, aluminum or plastic. Do we have all the right material to move it forward for the general meeting?
I don't see stamps on this either, so
Okay.
I don't know if they were or not uploaded or what, but.
You want to hold this one too?
Yeah, we're gonna hold this one until we get.
Okay,
yeah,
let's
because-
hold them until
Oh,
you're
here we
sure.
go. Here's a stamp.
Oh, you got them. There they
You do
are.
have them? Okay, yeah, because I know it's identical to the dock on each side of it.
Okay,
So,
there they are.
okay.
Yep.
Took a minute to find it.
So we can move it ahead then. Okay, I'm good moving it ahead.
Okay. All right, so that concludes the agenda for today. We do have executive session.
Yes.
I know it's after 11. Is there anything else we need in the meeting? I think we need to go to exec to discuss personnel and litigation
Right now.
issues. You all set with that, gentlemen? Okay, so I'll make a motion to adjourn the work session and go into executive session for the purpose of discussing personnel and confidential legal advice, seconded by trustee Warner. All in favor? Good afternoon, everybody.
Scott, at some point we could check